numbering with zeros. So what we do is literally take an ultrafine, okay, the origin of this, this is a funny origin story. One day at Stanford back in the 60s, early 60s, late 50s, there's a guy named Charlie Yanofsky who was a really great molecular biologist who probably should have gotten a Nobel Prize but didn't, probably because he's too humble. But in any event, Paul Ehrlich, who works at RMBL, or worked at RMBL until he's 89 right now, so up until a couple of years ago. Paul was working on butterflies locally, and Charlie was working on E. coli. And so at a faculty meeting one day, Charlie says, wow, there's this great new invention. It lets you write on glassware and it doesn't come off. And it's called a magic marker. And Paul's like, really? I wonder if you could do that on butterflies. So, okay, the original magic markers are like this. Right?
Yeah,
They're
thick,
like so thick. So what they did is this was so messy, and I don't see how they didn't kill butterflies, but they'd put a card between the two sets of wings, and they would do slash marks with the magic marker. So you could go 1, 2, and then 1 and 2 adds 3, so 4 and 7. And between those different marks, you could end up marking up to 10. And then you did the other side, you could mark it for the 10, the 20, the 40, the 70, and then you could, for the thousands, you could start making marks up here. And the pictures that I've seen, I mean, not only is the poor butterfly looking like it's now turned into something with black coloration all over it, the card is a mess, people's hands are a mess. So ultrafine point Sharpies are a great invention. So what we do is we assume that the bottom of the thing here is going to be that, so we don't confuse 6s and 9s. And we just simply, assuming our Sharpie is writing, we just simply write a couple of zeros on the guy's wing. And then we turn him over.
And do the same.
And we do the same thing.
And what do the 3 zeros signify?
The 3 zeros is the number that I'm giving him because we're going to be numbering other butterflies later on this month.
But you're not going to do more than 1,000?
We're going to start with 1.
But 001, right?
So this is pre-survey.
This is 000.
And then, but you won't go up.
So what we would do otherwise is I would write a 1 without all the zeros.
I see.
And then a 2 and 3, 4. So we're doing and then what we do is once we've got this thing numbered, we write down the sex, the wing wear, so how much scales are missing roughly by a guesstimate, how battered the wings are, and so on. This one would be a 2.0 on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means it's like
Just
sloppy. And we let it go. And we do that for every butterfly that we catch on a given day. Okay? Then we come back the next day and we catch butterflies. And we'll catch some that are marked and some that aren't marked. And let's say we caught 10 the first day, to make the math easy. We caught 10 the first day, and the next day we catch another 10, and 5 of them are marked.
Oh.
Okay? That tells us that we had marked 50% of the population. Okay? 5 out of 10, assuming that we've got a random mixing and that nobody's been born, nobody's died, a couple of other assumptions. 50% of our population was marked. So that means that if we mark 10, that there are 20 out there. Okay?
So you're always coming back to the same spot because
Yeah.
you're not moving.
Coming back to
Right.
the same spot. And we're assuming the butterflies didn't leave. So, no, go ahead.
Is it a big assumption to assume that nobody's been born and nobody's died?
If you do it over one day, it's not that big of an assumption. It's a bigger assumption that they didn't actually leave or come